Welcome, welcome, welcome to the main streets of Gadgetzan. So for those of you who don't know, it's time for the Jade Lotus. And of course, thematically, they're all pandas. Not all of them are pandas, but pandas make up a large part of them. Pandarians. It's part of the lore. They're very much sort of Asian themed. And very interesting mechanic that is coming up that's part of the Jade Lotus. So if you remember, grimy goons, right? Buff stuff in your hand. We understand that. The Cabal. Potions. That's the thing. Potions, board clears, magic, spells, and Highlander decks. We understand that. And now here comes the Jade Lotus. And it seems like the Jade Lotus thing is going to be mana manipulation, but it's also going to be this idea of a Jade Golem. And basically what a Jade Golem is, and I'll explain that right now, but there's going to be a little picture that I'll show a little bit later. Actually, you know what? Let's show it now. What the heck? Let's see here. So this is part of the card reveal that I'm going to do in a little bit. But I really want to show this card and what it looks like. There it is, Jade Golem. And so, if you look at this picture, right, look, it's getting larger and larger and larger, progressively larger. And, you know, it starts off as this little dude, and then it gets slightly bigger, right? Now it's, like, got lightning bolts and shit, right? And then now to 2020, it's, like, crushing the earth. So the idea of a Jade Golem is that every time you cast something that says summon a Jade Golem, it's gonna be spells. Some of them are minions, you know, etc., etc. And so basically, every time you do that, you get an additional creature that gets an additional +1/+1 for every other Jade Golem that's been summoned. So the first one you summon is a 1/1, the second one you summon is a 2/2, the third one you summon is a 3/3. So it scales upwards, and you get progressively bigger and bigger and bigger golems the more you play. And so the idea is going to be to start playing golem decks. And what's really cool is that a lot of times you get a creature and a golem. And if you do enough of this shit, you might play a 2-mana 2/3 that summons an 8/8, or a 2-mana 2/3 that summons a 10/10. Like, it starts getting ridiculous. And so, I don't know if this is good or not, because I've never fucking seen anything like this. My initial impression from the cards that I'm going to show you will make more sense once you see them and once I talk about them. I literally have seen these today, and so I have not had a very good chance to really formulate my thoughts on them. But like most of my videos, these are reactionary videos. And so what I really want to do is show you the card and then sort of give my reaction to that once I sort of think about the card and talk about it in the video, so it makes sense, you know. So if you're expecting like really intelligent, in-depth review and analysis, well, why are you coming to my videos? Just kidding. It is going to make sense. So first card, and this was leaked, it wasn't actually revealed, so they didn't actually mean to show this card. Jade Blossom, 3 mana, summon a Jade Golem, gain an empty mana crystal. So, very thematic of what we already know. I don't know if there's any cheaper Jade Golem cards for Druid up to this point. This is a Druid card. Excuse me. And it's neat, you know. It's 3 mana, and then you ramp, which is cool, but you also get a Jade Golem. So, it starts the Jade Golem train going, and it also starts the mana ramp going. I think that's pretty good in 2 cards, and if there is some sort of like 2 mana, just summon a Jade Golem card, or 1 mana, summon a Jade Golem card, this might get you a 2/2 and a mana ramp. That'd be pretty good. But even in the late game, it's still summoning a Jade Golem, and potentially this could also give you another card draw if it does that, excess mana card. It might not. My guess is they're kind of straying away from that because now they're giving you the Jade Golem as well. So my thought process is they're probably not going to give you the extra card, but give you the Jade Golem becomes very powerful if you have a lot of Jade Golems stored up. The question is, how many Jade Golem cards are there, and how viable of a mechanic is this? Because I do think it's a very interesting mechanic, and I gotta admit, everything they've done for all the classes and all the mechanics has just been interesting, has been intriguing, and has made me want to create decks with them. So I think that's the thing that I love the most about this expansion is it has created so many decks that I want to play, that I really, really want to play, and so I think that's cool. I think that's really neat, and I'm really glad that the mechanics that they've put forth foster deck building and foster new thought, new challenges, new mechanics, new things. And so that's what I really like about this. But at the same time, it also sort of plays into the old deck archetypes, right? Like druids are still ramping, and later on you'll see rogues are still doing rogue stuff. They're getting combo pieces and they're getting a bunch of shit. And now they're getting more minions, and so now they're far more likely to kind of survive on board. And maybe play them a little more mid-rangey style. And you'll see that shamans are still kind of doing shaman stuff too. Shaman is still going to be strong. It's kind of nuts. But let's move on. So that's Jade Blossom. Fairly standard druid ramp card. Not a problemo. But I do want to give a little bit of extra hype for these two cards coming up. One, Burgly Bully, which pretty much everybody agrees is going to be a rogue card. I would say don't sleep on this in other classes, though. So Burgly Bully is a 5-mana 4/6. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, add a coin to your hand. So this is the exact opposite of the Trade Prince Gallywix effect, where you gave them a coin and you got a copy of the spell. So this punishes Arcane Giant decks. This punishes spell-based heavy decks. Just basically it punishes the Cabal, and add a coin to your hand whenever they cast a spell. So it's going to make them think twice about casting spells. And so this is going to be very, very good in Rogue, where you're going to get those extra coins, and the coins are going to be able for you to allow you to combo things a lot better and be more consistent with your combos. Are they going to get more combo cards? I hope so. I hope that they should, especially with the direction that they're going. And it does. This already fits into an existing deck archetype, i.e. the Gadgetzan Auctioneer Miracle Rogue. And what's nice is it's 5 mana. So you can drop this on 4, right? Tomb Pillager. On 5, Burgly Bully. You store up 2 or 3 coins. Gadgetzan Auctioneer on 6. Bam! 2-3 card draws. And then, maybe a Fan of Knives to get you 2 more card draws. Something like that. Miracle Rogue is going to be a lot more consistent. And it's going to be a thing even more so than it is now. It's already a good deck. I wouldn't say it's tier 1, but it's already a very good deck. And could it be tier 1 because of this and the Jade Lotus mechanic? Maybe. It's possible. But this card is definitely going to be a staple in rogue decks for sure. But I would say don't sleep on it in other decks. For instance, Druid could use this as an additional, even more mana ramp. Just getting half innervates. Really good. And ramping up to your big cards. It's not bad at all, right? Shaman might be able to use this to overcome Overload. So I think it's very prominent in the Jade Lotus. Even though it's a neutral card and it could be used by anyone, I think the Jade Lotus will have the most use for it. Because, like I said, a lot of their mechanics involve getting extra mana in various sources and utilizing it to spawn golems and spawn bigger and bigger stuff and, snowballing in that sense. And kind of using the golems to combat the buffed minions of the Grimy Goons and the board clear spell heavy stuff of the Cabal. So, Burgly Bully, I think is a good card, and I think it could be easily one ofs, maybe even two ofs in other decks. And the 4/6 stat line is pretty darn good. That's good enough for 5 mana. You know, that's Genie of Zephyrs, that's Spectral Knight. You know, it's 10 stat points on turn 5. It's good enough. And because it has 6 health, it's going to survive a lot. It's going to typically survive a lot of turns, or at least one turn. And like I said, it doesn't exactly have the Lotheb effect, but it has a similar effect to Lotheb in a sense that your opponent's going to go, should I be casting spells here? I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of have to, but I don't want to give him mana. I don't want to give him cards, especially in Rogue when you drop this. You know, he's sitting there going, fuck, I think I'm going to have to use my minions to remove this. And if you're using minions to remove this, he's not using minions to remove your Gadgetzan. Right? Because if he gives spells, he gives these coins. I mean, coins are free spells. You know, in a weird way, a Burgly Bully is a counter to a deck that would run Arcane Giants, but you would also run Arcane Giants in a Burgly Bully deck because you're getting extra spells. It kind of works off itself. Maybe Yoxron makes an appearance in these decks. Who knows? You know, so I think this card is very interesting, very unique, and I think is more powerful than it seems on the outset and could have a lot of use. And like I said, especially in the Jade Lotus cards. Burgly Bully. Oh, I forgot to score. So, I'm not sure how good the Jade Lotus mechanic is going to be in Arena, because who knows how many Golem cards you're going to get. But getting a mana ramp on 3 is not bad. It's just not that good in Arena. Constructed, it's going to be a very good card, and it's going to fit in with the Jade Lotus mechanic. So I'm going to give it a 7 in Constructed. I'm going to give it like a 4 in Arena. It really just depends on how good mana ramp is and if you can get that excess card. If you get the excess card, it's good. If you don't, it's even worse than a 4. Burgly Bully is going to be solid across the board. It's going to be a 7 in Constructed and a 7 in Arena. It's going to be very good. Oftentimes will be a 1 of, possibly even a 2 of. In Arena, you get it. Stat line is great. And then your opponent, if he does cast a spell, gives you a coin. Hey, we'll take some extra mana. Why not? Enables combos. Like I said, it's going to be very, very good in Rogue. There you go. Alright. We had one last Cabal card secretly revealed. And it is a doozy. As a Priest player, as somebody who enjoys playing the Priest, this card kind of blew my mind. Remember how we were always saying that Priest was never going to get a really good 2-drop because if they did, they'd be OP? Especially something that would just be an auto-include 2-drop, and you'd be super happy to play it, and it would fit alongside the Dragon Priest idea, where you had the Wormrest Agent, but you just needed another 2-drop that was good, and sometimes you run Nether Spite Historian, but that's not statted very well. Well, guess what? We got it! They gave it to us. It's a 2-mana 2/3. Whenever this minion is healed, summon a 2/2! What? What? Ooh, Panda ears are perked up. What? What? You heard it right. So, it's only this minion, though. That's the caveat. If it was any minion, this card would be OP. And it would probably be a 1/1. There's no way they would print a 2-mana 2/3 whenever this minion heals, and any minion is healed, summon a 2/2 crystal. Because then you just would fill your board with crystals, and then we'd have fucking Token Priest becoming a thing. They don't want that. What they want is this card to be sort of a generator. So, the idea is Northshire Cleric on 1. Your opponent does not respond. Mana Geo on 2. They play a 2-drop or a 3-drop. You trade in Mana Geode, it lives, you heal, you get a card draw, and a 2/2. Now, the 2/2 crystals are just bare bones 2/2 crystals. They're not like the Mana Geode, they don't have an extra ability. It's like a squire. Like the squire that you got out of a recruiter. It's just a 2/2 and that's it. So it's not extra. But think about that. Maybe you even just use Circle of Healing, right? maybe you play this, then you play the Cabal Shadow Priest and buff this to a 2/6, and now you got something that's spawning 2/2s over and over and over and over again. And then Token Priest really is a thing. Even something as simple as play this on turn 3 and a Power Word Shield, and now this is a 2/5 and it's spawning 2/2s every time you heal it. Ridiculous. This card combined with Raja, the Unchained, Raja? Fuck. I forgot his name. Anyway, the Priest Legendary, who has your hero power cost 0. You just spawn 2/2s all day. All day. And all you gotta do is just injure this guy, then heal him back. Right? So, obviously your hero power will work for that. Circle Healing will work for that. Flash Heal will work for that. Right? Pyromancer, and then cast a spell, and then heal this guy, works with that. So then you're spawning 2/2s all day with that thing. Right? This is so crazy. Here's why. So, I remember, I only played it like twice, but there was a priest deck that ran Wild Pyros, Priest of the Feasts, and Hogger Doom of Elwyn. So, it would cast a spell, deal 1 damage to everybody, spawn a 2/2, and then Priest of the Feast would heal it for 3. And then it would cast its hero power on the Hogger to reheal it, or it would cast Circle of Healing, heal everything, right? Get another healing to the face, and then everything would be alive again, and then the Wild Pyromancer would go off again, and then it would get another 2/2. This could have a similar effect to that. Something along the lines of being able to play Wild Pyro, damage this minion, heal it up, get a 2/2, repeat process ad nauseum. Damage something, heal it with the Northshire Cleric, draw cards, and get Golem, and get crystals. Repeat ad nauseum. And guess what? This card with Power Word Tentacles, I can't believe I'm fucking saying this, becomes a 4/9 that keeps spawning 2/2s. This card is insane. I thought all the other priest cards were ridiculous. And they are. And this one does seem simple because it's just a fucking 2-drop, who cares? But this is the card that Priest needed. This is it. Oh my god. I thought the stupid little bartender thing was good enough. I was happy with that. I was like, oh, 2 mana, 2/3, heal 1 to face. We'll take it. Combine that with Holy Champion. Hey, look, it's getting buffed all the time. Blah, blah, blah. No, fuck no. This is the card. Imagine you get 2 of these on the field, man. You get 2 of these, Wild Pyro, Circle of Healing, boom! 2 2/2s. Crazy. I'm dead serious about this. Token Priest could be a thing. Like, this is blowing my mind. I mean, just throw this into any fucking Priest deck and it's good. And it's still a 2 mana 2/3. That's it. Even if you don't heal it, even if you don't get the effect, still a 2 mana 2/3. Still good. Fuck, this card is insane. Insane, insane, insane. Holy shit, man. Priest is... I said it before. Priest is gonna be OP. It might very well be tier 1 now. It might be the thing that breaks the meta. I had originally said that Priest was going to be the thing that countered anything that was at the top of the meta. But it wouldn't be at the top of the meta itself. Which is weird to say, because you would think, oh hey, it counters everything, so it would be at the top of the meta. No, because there'd be other decks, other tier 2 decks that would counter it. But the best decks would get countered by Priest, because Priest would have the board clears and the value and the healing to destroy those decks. Never mind. I mean, add Mana Geode to your deck now, and maybe your Priest deck is just tier 1, and that's it. Like, it's not... Like, it is the thing that defines the meta, as opposed to it being the thing that counters the thing that defines the meta. So, even just as a one-off, this would be sick, in your fucking Highlander Priest deck. I mean, like, oh my god, look, my panda is freaking out here. He's freaking out. He's covering his eyes. He doesn't know what to do. Oh my god. Love this card. Love this card. Can't wait to play Priest. Can't wait to play this card. Sick, sick, sick. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Alright, so that's Mana Geode. Now let's take a look at the Jade Lotus cards. Abwang. So, if you remember, Jade Golems scale upwards, right? So every Jade Golem that you get summons an additional +1/+1 Jade Golem. So that's what makes this card, the Jade Spirit, such a good card. So notice it's tri-class. So this is one of the tri-class cards. So it fits in Rogue, Druid, and Shaman. And it's a 2/3 with a battle cry that summons a Jade Golem. So at lowest, this is a 2/3 that summons a 1/1, which makes it equivalent to a Razorfen Hunter. So that would suck. But if you have a deck that utilizes the Jade Golem synergy, by the time turn 4 hits, in theory you should have summoned at least 1 to 2 other Jade Golems. If you have, by the time you play this card on turn 4, it's a 2/3 that summons a 3/3, or a 2/3 that summons a 2/2. That's very good. But like I said, Jade Golems build off each other. So every Jade Golem that you get out is just making your next Jade Golem bigger. So even though this one might be coming out weak, the one after that is going to be bigger, and then the one after that's going to be bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. So this card is ridiculous in that sense, and I think will be an auto-include. This is the first of the tri-class cards where I'm like, whoa, I will probably fit 2 of these in every deck. Right, Don Honcho, awesome. And I think we'll find a spot in most decks, but not necessarily all decks. Maybe you don't need a buff one. Maybe you're playing an aggro hunter, and you're just not even going to use Don Honcho. It's possible. You know, whereas the Jade Spirit, I think, will find a spot in every deck. In every single Jade Lotus-centered deck. Because remember, if you don't utilize the Jade Golem synergy, this card sucks. It's Razorfen Hunter. Why would you play it? So, if you're using golems, if you're using the Jade Golems, this card is cool. This card is really good. If you're not, this card sucks. So, in Constructed, assuming you're playing a Jade Golem deck, very, very good. It's going to be an 8. Mana Geode, 10 out of 10. I mean, that's obvious. You could tell by the way I talked about it in Arena and Constructed. It's just crazy. But Jade Spirit, if you don't use a Golem deck, it's a 0. You would never play it. There's no reason to play it. In Arena, again, it depends on the viability of the Jade Lotus cards. If you're able to get enough of them and really make a Jade Golem Lotus deck work in Arena, these cards are good. And we're getting a lot of them, like a significant amount. But it's, you know, if you don't, it's just a Razorfen Hunter. So, hard to say. You know, it's hard to say. It really just depends on how frequently you can get Jade Golems to come up. And if you can, and there's something viable, then okay. You know, then this will be good in Arena. So, it's a wide range. So, it's either like a 2 in Arena, if it really sucks, and the Jade Golem synergy doesn't work in Arena, or it could be very good. It could be like a 7, 8, 9. Like, who knows? You know, it's hard to say. Anyway, well, let's move on. And let's take a look at Jade Lightning. Now, this is a Shaman card. It is a 4 mana, deal 4 damage, and summon a Jade Golem. Wow, I like this card a lot. And it's kind of blowing my mind. Now notice, it's not Stormcrack. It's not deal 4 damage to a minion. It's just deal 4 damage. And it gets you a golem. So if you've used golems up until this point, so if you think about it just totally base. Totally base. Deal 4 damage, summon a 1/1. That 4 mana sounds reasonable for that, I think. Now, what if this becomes deal 4 damage, summon a 2/2, summon a 3/3, summon a 4/4, summon a 5/5? Whoa. Now we're talking extra, extra, extra value. And notice, no overload. None at all. And it's direct damage. It's face damage. Lightning Bolt. Lava Burst. And now Jade Lightning. Whoa. Face Shaman. Spell damage Shaman. Really aggro face damage. Attacking. Spell damage Shaman. With Jade Golems is going to be a thing. If you thought Shaman was coming down off of the top of the meta, you were right in a sense that mid-range Shaman is going to be coming down because there's just going to be so many board clears and board wipes, and Priest, Warlock, and Mage are going to be sick, and they're going to kill mid-range Shaman from being top of the meta. That being said, Jade Lightning, Face Shaman, Aggro Shaman is going to make a comeback. Watch. We're going to see the reemergence of Doomhammer. Maybe not, just because Harrison Jones and Spirit Claws and stuff like that. But we're going to see a much more spell damage-oriented Shaman come into play because of this card. This card scales with spell damage. Imagine getting +1 or +2 on this Jade Lightning, and then it's 4 mana. I mean, this could easily become Fireball, summon a Jade Golem. How fucking sick is that? That's going to be really, really good. I mean, like, really, really good. I think this card is fantastic, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. In, like I said, in Arena, it's all going to depend on whether Jade Golem's synergy can work in Arena, and whether there's enough cards to support it. But 4 mana, it's a 4 mana, deal 4 damage. You know, in Arena, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It could easily be a finisher. It could easily be removal. I like it. I think it's a very good card. And in Arena, it'll be slightly less, you know, it'll be like a 6 or a 7. Probably 7. I think it'll be a 7 baseline, but like I said, if the Jade Golem synergy is good, it could be even better. So, very good card. Very neat card. Shaman is not losing. If Shaman loses anything, it's not a lot. But they might actually be gaining, which is crazy. And now let's take a look at Aya Blackpaw, the Jade Lotus Triple Legendary. So Aya Blackpaw, I believe, now don't quote me on this, I believe Aya Blackpaw is the leader of the Jade Lotus. So if that's true, for instance, Don Honcho is the leader of the Grammy Goons, and then Kazakus is the leader of the Cabal, right? So I believe that Aya Blackpaw is the leader / tri-legendary of the Jade Lotus. Now, if that is correct, I'm not 100% sure, then there you go. Then this is their legendary. 6 mana, 5/3, Battle Cry, and Death Rattle, summon a Jade Golem. Wow, that is really good. That is really, really, really good. Like, ridiculously good. By the time you hit 6 mana, you gotta assume that you've played at least 1 or 2 Jade Golem cards, maybe even 3. So let's assume for the sake of argument that you summoned 2. You know, 2. So this would be a 5/3 that summons a 3/3. And then when it dies, it summons a 4/4. Think about that. It's a 5/3 that summons a 3/3, which summons a 3/4 when it a 4/4 when it dies. But even if you've never played a Jade Golem card up until this point, it's a 5/3 that summons a 1/1 that summons a 2/2 when it dies. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is Piloted Shredder on steroids. Now imagine you've actually played like 5, 6, 7 Jade Golem cards up until this point. Can you imagine playing a 5/3 that summons a 7/7 and then when it dies summons an 8/8? I mean, this card is just going to snowball and get better and better and better with time. Maybe you don't even want to play it on 6. Maybe you want to wait till you've played enough Jade Golem cards to where this card just wins you the game. 10 out of 10 out of 10. Sick. Who gives a shit if it only has 3 health and dies? You're getting another Jade Golem. You don't fucking care. I'm not saying you want it to die, but if it dies, you're not crying because you get another Jade Golem. So good, so sick, awesome card, amazing card, just well designed. That I'm loving this Jade Golem mechanic. I am excited to play all 9 classes now, and I think that is the best thing about this expansion is I am excited to play with every single class. And this is the first time that I can say that for any expansion. Even Whispers of the Old Gods, where I was like, wow, look at all these cool cards, and now they're standard, and now there's all this shit. But I was kind of only interested in playing like 4 or 5 classes. I'm legitimately interested in playing all classes now. You know, I'll be honest. First love was Paladin. Love Paladin. One of my favorites. Second was Priest. Love the idea of Priest. Love healing. Love doing stuff. But again, kind of weak, you know, relatively weak classes. And then I started liking Rogue a lot more because I played more Arena. I was never a big fan of Shaman, just because I didn't like the Overlord mechanic. And then later on they became OP and became cancerous, and I didn't like them either. But I'm interested in playing Shaman now, because I like the idea of these mechanics. I like the idea of spell damage. I like the idea of having an aggro face Shaman spell-based deck, or having a one with a Jade Golem mechanic. Like, how crazy is that? Like, that's neat to me. That is a neat idea to me, you know? Later on, I started liking Druid a lot, because I liked to play ramp, and I liked healing, and I liked, you know, I liked the idea of Medivh, and I think One Night in Karazhan made some really cool decks, and I liked N'Zoth in Druid, oddly enough. And I liked Yogg-Saron, and playing Yogg-Saron in Druid was really cool. And, you know, there's so many applications now that I'm seeing with these Jade Golem cards. And I really do think this is a mechanic now that can stand up to the buff stuff of the Grimy Goons and to the crazy board clears of the Cabal, because these golems keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you fill your deck with Jade Golem cards and make Jade Golem decks, oh my god, Jade Golem Druid is going to be ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. Just because they're the ones that can do the most with a bunch of big shit. There's already Ramp Druids. Can you imagine Ramp Druids with Jade Golems? Can you imagine Ramp Druid with this card? This card right here? Fuck me, man. Like, crazy. Crazy good. I'm loving this mechanic. I really want to see what it's like in play. You know, all these mechanics are really good, but they're also something that you're just going to have to play with to see how good they are. You know, I mean, the hype is there. We'll see how they work out, but I really do think... I was worried about the Jade Lotus, considering how strong I had seen the two tri-classes before this. You know, the Cabal and the Grimy Goons. And I was like, Jade Lotus is going to have to be good in order to stand up to this. Look at all this shit. This shit is fucking ridiculous. Buffing stuff in hand, getting 5/5s and all this crap. And I look at this and I'm like, yes, this can stand up to them. But you got to snowball it and you got to play a bunch of cards. Well, who's better at playing a bunch of cards than Rogue? Who's better at ramping than Druid? Who's better at playing a bunch of fucking spells and getting a bunch of golems out than Shaman? Who's got enough fucking like taunts and protection and totem synergy to go along with Jade Golem synergy than Shaman? That's what I'm saying. Like, thematically, they did a really, really good job picking these classes. And I know I've talked a lot about this card. I know I talked a lot about the classes and the meta and stuff, but I'm just blown away. Blown away by this card. Blown away by the Jade Golem mechanic. I think it's going to be fucking great. Alright, and there's the Jade Golem. We just looked at that. Alright, let's take a look at a Rogue card. Finally, we got a good Rogue, decent Rogue card here. And it is the Jade Shuriken. 2 mana, deal 2 damage, combo, summon a Jade Golem. It's a good card. It's a very good card. Right? 1, 2 damage. 2 mana, 2 mana, 2 damage. Not bad. Not good, but not bad. You know, it's no Eviscerate. But combo summon this Jade Golem. So, what's really cool about this, let's say you play this at turn 2 and you haven't played any Jade Golem cards. Deal 2 damage, summon a 1/1. That's good. That is removal and tempo. Right? Imagine you play this late game, right? A little bit of removal, a little bit of damage, and it's just deal 2 damage, so this can go face, right? A little bit of damage, summon a big fucking golem. This could be 2 mana, deal 2 damage, summon an 8/8. What? Fucking blows my mind. This is insane. I mean, what a good card. I hope there's more. I really do. Because we've seen a lot of, like, card steal cards from Rogue. So I hope there's more, like, Jade Golem stuff for Rogue. Because I think Rogue could destroy people with the Jade Golem mechanic. Sick card. Really cool card. Jade Shuriken. I love it. So, Aya Southpaw, like I said, she's going to make the Jade Golem mechanic work in Constructed and in Arena. So, 10 out of 10 in Constructed, probably 8 out of 10 in Arena, but she will actually make the Jade Golem mechanic work. So it's going to be worth drafting a lot of those cards, and building a Jade Golem deck in Arena, I think, will be very powerful if you can get that card. But it's a legendary. It doesn't come up in Arena very often, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. This card in Constructed, very, very good. Very, very good. Auto-include 2 of, in all Rogue decks. It's a little bit of removal and get a Golem. Fuck yeah. 8 out of 10 for this. In Arena, it's a little bit of removal and summoning the Jade Golem. Fuck yeah. Also, 8 out of 10 in Arena. Very good card. Very neat. Very well designed. I hope there's more. I hope there's more cards like that. Alright, and next up we've got a 4-mana common card. Common neutral card, the Hosen Healer. Interesting. It is a 4-mana 2/6 battle cry. Restore a minion to full health. Huh. Okay. Battle cry? It's weird that this is a battle cry. I guess if they made it a repetitive effect, it'd be too strong. So this assumes that you have something on the board, something that needs to be healed, and this will restore it to full health. Huh. So does this count as a heal? If it does, that's really neat and would actually combine very well with Mana Geode, for instance. If you got a buffed up Mana Geode, it would get you another 2/2. Like I said, if this triggers heal effects, it's a very good card. Very neat card. Probably going to be a priest card. Probably going to fit in that archetype. But he's all green, so I would assume they kind of want to put him in with the Jade Lotus stuff. I guess rehealing a really big golem, that has applications, right? Rehealing a taunt minion, that has applications. It's a 2/6 body, you know, so, I mean, it's not going to kill a lot of stuff, but it'll stick around. But why would you want it to stick around? Because once this battle cry goes off, it really has no use after that. I think they statted this minion kind of weird. But the only reason I can think why they statted this minion this way is with the card that's coming up that you'll see. I don't think this card will see a lot of play. I feel like restoring a minion to full health is a neat effect, but I feel like the stat line is not ideal for anything aside from just healing and maybe buffing. And I don't know. I mean, like, to me, I feel like it has a lot of applications, especially like with Grimy Goons when you get a bunch of big, you know, you start putting out buffed minions, and then you play this guy and you reheal one of your big buffed minions, and this is a 2/6, and then this scales with buffing very well, right? Imagine this gets +1/+1 or +2/+2 on it. It's a 3/7, it's a 4/8, right? Now it's a minion that's going to stick around for a while, you know. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I can see applications here. I can see it healing a big golem, like I said. I can see it just healing up one of your minions in you know, in the Cabal. Like, I mean, there is applications. I just don't know if this effect is strong enough to fit it in to any legitimate competitive decks. I don't know. In Arena, this is pretty good. You know, a lot of times, you know, you're having minion combat and you've got minions that are like in flame strike range, or they're in, ping range or something like that, and then you play this guy and you take him out of that range, and then you can retrade, or you can trade in and then heal up, and you don't lose the minion at all. Very, very good for tempo, very good for maintaining your board. So I feel like this Hosian Healer will have that effect, will have that bonus, and that'll be really helpful. So it has applications. I don't think it'll see constructed play. I think in Arena it'll be a very good card. So it's going to get a 4 in constructed, and it's going to get a 7 in Arena. And moving on to the last card, it's going to be the Fight Promoter. And this is what I was talking about. This is the card where I think this is why the previous card, the Hosian Healer, has 6 health. So this is weird, and this is a mechanic that I have never seen before. Battle Cry. If you control a minion with 6 or more health, draw 2 cards. Wow. So this card is actually going to work very well with the Jade Lotus, because once you get your fucking golems buffed up to 6, you play this guy, card draw. And this is a neutral. This can be played in anything. This is a very good card. This is 2 card draws. It's an Arcane Intellect on a 4/4 body. So you're paying 3 mana to get a 4/4, and you're paying 3 mana to get 2 card draws. With a downside. So I think they could have actually statted this card a little better than it is. It could have been a 6 mana 5/5. Drawing 2 cards is so huge, though. Is so significant. I mean, really, really significant. This card is going to go really, really good with Grimy Goon cards, because they get buffed and they're very likely going to have higher than 6 health. This card goes very good in Priest, because they like to play minions that have high health. Priest of the Feast is a 3/6. You play this in Priest of the Feast, 2 cards. Bam. Even in a Hunter deck, a card like Knuckles is a 3/7. You play that on 5, you play this on 6. Boom! 2 cards. Getting a minion with 6 health is not that hard to do. The problem is getting a minion onto the board with 6 health and then having it keep that 6 health in order to trigger Fight Promoter. That's the tough part. Well, I'll say this. This card is way better than the fucking Burglebot, the 6 mana 5/5 that when it attacks and survives draws a card. Because this card is going to get you the 2 card draw right away. This is a card that's probably going to sit in your hand for a while until you can actually get that minion out. But like I said, if you're Priest and your hero power costs 0 because of, Rexar the Unchained or whatever the fuck his name is. Rexar, Raja... Rexa. It's Rexa. Rexa the Chained. And then you get this guy, and your hero power costs 0. You heal up your minion to 6 health. You play this guy. You get the 2 card draws. Pretty good. You play a Jade Golem card, and then this guy, right? And your Golem is 6 health or more. Boom, 2 cards. Right? You're playing Druid, and you just happen to have big minions out there. Bam, 2 cards. Your ability to get a 6 health minion by turn 6 is doable. It's definitely doable. But, maybe you're not playing this on turn 6 or turn 7. This is like a refuel kind of card. Right? You're both kind of getting low on cards. It starts becoming a top deck war. You play Fight Promoter. Boom, you get 2 cards. Now you have card advantage. Now you can grind out the game. So I'm seeing this more in a control-y deck than I'm seeing it in sort of like an aggro deck that could refuel. But it works very well with all the classes and all the mechanics. And so I think this card is excellent. But it's only going to be excellent in a slower meta, and a meta that's going to allow you to have the time to have a minion on board that is buffed up. Because otherwise it's a 6 mana 4/4, and that sucks. So it's a very wide range. If the Battlecry goes off, it's great. If the Battlecry doesn't go off, this card is just a dead card in your hand. And if you have to play a 6 mana 4/4 without getting 2 card draws behind it, ugh, blech, barf. you know. But this card could easily be a better Curator. Or it could synergize with Curator, right? Curator is a 4 mana 6/6. Or a 7 mana 4/6 that draws cards, and then you play this and you draw cards. I think the 3/6 2/6 stat line is going to be much more prevalent now because of this card. Even something like an Oasis Snapjaw is a 4 mana 2/7. You know, that's relevant with this guy. So all of a sudden, Minion's health is relevant. And let's think about this. I hate to say it, fucking Power Over Tentacles. Wow, all of a sudden that card looks good. Has use now. You play that on 5 on a minion that's like a 4/4 or whatever. So let's say turn 4, you play a 4/4. Just vanilla 4/4. Whatever the fuck it is. Even the Cabal Potion guy, the 3/3 guy that gets you a potion. Then you play Power Over Tentacles in that. Now you've got a 5/9. Then you play Fight Promoter, and now you're drawing 2 cards and getting a 4/4 body. There's a lot of situations. There's a lot of situations where this card comes up. I think it's a very good card. I think it will see play, but I do think it's going to see play in a deck that can get bigger, buffer, stronger minions out. That, to me, is the only way. But if you can do that, this card's going to be excellent. So, that's it right now, guys. That was Jade Lotus Reveal Day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I've got links to all the other review videos down below. I've also got links to my live Twitch stream, and I've also got links to my YouTube page down below as well. Hopefully you're seeing this on YouTube. Also, I've got links to PayPal if you want to make any donations, support the channel, support me. I really enjoy doing this. I love Hearthstone. I love card games. I love putting on silly hats. So if you are a fan of silly hats, you should support me. If you're a fan of pandas, you should support me as well. Because pandas are worth supporting. They're endangered. We need love. Just saying. But yeah, very, very excited for this new expansion. It cannot come fast enough. It is, what day is today? Today's the 21st of November. 2 weeks, man. I hope these 2 weeks fly by. Because I'll tell you this, December, I'm locking myself in my room. I'm going to work, and then I'm coming back and I'm playing some fucking Hearthstone, man. Because the deck ideas are gonna be nuts. I have at least 10 fucking deck ideas. In fact, I'm gonna be making a video about deck ideas once all the cards come out. And then I'll talk about sort of my favorite cards, my top 10 cards, top 10 deck ideas. Whole series. It's going to be great. Hope you guys like it. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Oh, the Jade Lotus. Very honorable group. Oh, yes. Very honorable. I'm Asian. I can make these jokes. It's okay. Just kidding. Guys, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Rockstar is out of here.